and will be our
Yo,
epic
if you're a
skin
woman
final skin for
enjoyer,
our Season
you're
6 VR
eating
pass.
good this summer. What's poppin', everyone? It's your boy Levi, and today we're going to be going over the Eternal Return dev stream so that I can give my thoughts for Season 6 of Eternal Return. As always, I'm going to be watching this on 1.5 speed just to speed things up.
Our Eternal Return dev stream.
This is 2 hours long, and I've heard it's very dry.
Okay, now for a more serious note, the combat ping removal was also a big change. Also, although we still chant our ADCs when someone third parties in a tournament, if the combat ping was still here, it would have been a much more worse situation than today. Changes.
To my understanding, the biggest issue right now with ABCing isn't like currently third partying a fight that's happening, because I feel like that's on the downside of happening. It's the final zone where you have two people fighting in one zone and one person just chilling in the other zone. I don't know how you fix this problem, because I think it's just a matter of having an odd number of people left and remaining. But there's a big problem with someone just waiting for their timer to count down and then heading to the other zone, and almost always they come out on top just because they either have more timer, more health, they're not the ones fighting, whatever. That's currently an issue, I think.
Creating from boxes was a good change and helping players not need to drop their whole inventory to craft.
This was a great change.
However,
I love this change. I know new players like this change. There's very few people I've talked to that don't like this change.
We're considering some improvements for
There are a
this as well,
few, but
and
very
we
few.
hope that it may solve the confusion.
The auto attack
kiting improvements were
change
also
was
added recently,
interesting.
and I can say that kiting was improved
You definitely
significantly,
feel
but
it
there are
on
also a
certain
lot of issues that
characters.
came with
Dual
it.
swords you
First
feel
was a
it.
clear example
I'm
in
assuming
the
AR you feel it. I haven't
and
really tried it
the
out. Bow you feel it a
also
little
on the
bit with
list of
Rio.
bottlenecks. We are keeping an eye on this, and we are addressing some.
I've still found a way to cancel it on Razi if you're quick enough.
And see how we can improve this as well.
Yeah, Teammodes became a meme in Season 5,
although that doesn't happen really often,
which I guess
when it
is
does happen, it
fine
feels really,
if you
really bad.
acknowledge them to be
I
casual
think
game
taking risks is
modes,
understandable.
because that feels so unfun when you die, revive, and then you're right on top of someone and they kill you again, and you can repeat that cycle like 2 or 3 times if you spawn in the same zone. That is awful feeling. So I like the idea of them adding movement speed to your revive. I think that's a good change, but only on revive. Don't add it for hyperlooping, because there should be a risk of hyperlooping, especially late game. I feel like you should also loop with your teammate, maybe like a teammate's loop, like if you're both on the loop together. I'm glad they made the avenue final zone bigger though. That needed to desperately be changed. Okay, this explains why they released a bunch of like support characters recently with Priya, Johan.
There's a lot of buzz surrounding characters with special roles.
I think Adina's technically a support. That's crazy to me. Which, if you're in NA, that's also crazy to you too, probably. I'm sure it's not if you're Korean, or play on KR. What squads being like? I don't even know. Did NA have a single ranked squads pop this season? I don't know if we did. Surely we had like under 10 if we did. I don't think I've seen anyone that's ranked in squads. We had a few duos, and we have designated days for duos. Like squads being the most played. Jeez.
A very big amount of our games.
Okay, so they're fine with characters just being like support characters just being god awful in solos. I guess that's fair.
Which was our first tourney in ages.
As long as they acknowledge it. I hope they don't try to balance characters with like good single target damage to be good in duos though. Like it should just be the exact same thing. There should just be characters that suck in team mode.
The answer is, in solo, if a character with a specific weapon type reaches 5.5% pick rate, which is about 1 in 18, that means it averages at least 1 pick per game. That means it's almost certainly going to get nerfed. If the pick rate is around 4%, we usually look at other stats too, such as win rate and average.
That's crazy that they hold pick rate that high to me, because there's a bunch of characters or a bunch of players who are one tricks and don't want to adapt their picks, myself included. I play primary Razi, even though she's in a pretty bad spot. Based on pick rate alone, that's enough to get it nerfed. Like they did say that stats go into it, but like the primary stat they look at is pick rate. So if Razi had a 5% pick rate currently, she would get nerfed next patch? Is that what you're telling me? Just because there's a lot of people playing it in top 1,000? Now granted, that's top 1,000 in all regions. So top 1,000 in NA is like bronze and silver and higher probably. But in KR that's probably high diamond and higher, I would imagine. 1.3 kills is enough to get a nerf? That feels really low.
If it's around 1%, we usually do not nerf a character unless they have a
I feel like all characters should just average 1 kill a game.
Are almost not considered for nerfs.
Maybe that leads to killing too fast. Maybe not. Maybe they're onto something.
There's a catch. These are all based off stats.
I don't think I can have a problem with time to kill and complain that characters aren't killing enough. That kind of doesn't make sense.
May provide us with incorrect stats.
Okay, that's also crazy because they just acknowledge Aya.gg has better stats than DAC, and I think 99% of players will go to DAC first to look at stats. I think everyone that looks at Aya.gg kind of looks at it and is like, I wonder where they're pulling these numbers from, because Aya.gg stats are kind of crazy. Also, I hate that their mouse, that's their mouse on the screen, by the way, not mine. Just want to point that out. I'm very glad that they look at average placement as well, because that's what stops things from like Bleeder Jackie, Magnus, from just like regen builds from being too strong. Like, we made this character a certain way, so you guys have to play it a certain way. I don't really like that. I enjoy playing amp crossbow in the game. Don't take that away from me.
And the point of feedback that we see when our patches come out. The most feedback that...
This is a good point here, where 99% of stats determines what gets buffed or nerfed. I like hardcore disagree with that. I don't think your player base, which this is a growing game. This is not like a League of Legends or like an Overwatch that has like an extensive player base. This is a game that's in the midst of growing, and you're gonna listen to the player base for 1% of the input. I feel like that's way too low. Like, we're playing your game. Our voices should be heard for more than 1%, which, crazily enough, we complained about all three of these characters on the right. The stats can say what you want. You can have a game that's completely balanced, but if no one wants to play it because they feel like it's different, then I feel like you should listen to what your players want. You know? Like, stats aren't going to get you plays on Steam. Now, they'll definitely give you guidelines and help. I don't think you should, like... And I still think they should be, like, the majority, too. Don't get me wrong. I just think it should be, like, I don't know, like 80-20? Maybe 85-15? I don't think it's 99-1.
There are also more recent examples and more spicy ones.
Okay, going back to what they said about they want characters to be played the way that they're intended. What does that mean for like characters like Hyunwoo and Felix? Because Hyunwoo specifically has bounced around from like an auto attacking build to a sit in the bush and wait for you to walk by, hit you in the wall, and one shot you with amp, and then back to auto attack, then tank, then regen, then amp. Like, this character changes build paths each season. And the same thing with Felix. Felix was released as a like ability powered character where you spammed Q, and then he had like a weird amp build for like one patch, and then now he's like an Enad auto attacker and he just doesn't use ability. So like, I don't get what they're saying when they say they want characters to be like how they're initially planned to, when like we have characters like these two that fluctuate so much. Adela's kind of always been this like one shot, supposedly glass cannon who actually has like 15 escape tools.
This may not be the answer you want, but mostly when an augment is strong, it's mostly because of the characters that's using it currently.
Okay, that's facts, but that's also not the solution. You can't just like say, yeah, these augments are strong because these characters use them well, therefore we're not going to nerf them. Like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. I get it might be harder to nerf. Figure it out. Like, what solution is that? Like, sorry guys, these characters use these augments too well. You know, Hejin one shot's too strong with amp drone, which she kind of needs to one shot, but like Chiara's healing factor is ridiculous. So therefore we can't nerf healing factor just because Chiara uses it too well. Like, then nerf the character or get rid of augments. I don't know, who still wants augments? Let me know down below in the comments if you still want augments. Is everyone still riding the get rid of augments train? I know I am. I don't understand the logic behind. And like, I'll just briefly, because like everyone's already said their point about 0.56, but like no one asked for the reload change. They removed reloading because they think not having to reload makes it more fun or something. Like, that's what the patch notes said. It was like it felt less fun to reload, so they removed it. And like, no. My fun's not dictated off one button press for like 6 characters that use it. I feel like the community is very, at least in NA, we're very loud about some issues that just aren't getting addressed at all. Maybe because KR doesn't have the same issues, but I'd rather them at least acknowledge that we have problems with, or that they think that our issues aren't issues, than just have us scream about the same things over and over and we get changes like that. That was my issue. I'm not a like new patch is out, time to hate on it kind of person, but that patch specifically got me a bit, mainly because I play pistol characters. Yo, I'm excited though for the 0.6, 0.61 patch. We get Cobalt into Carla. Love to see that.
This is one of the things that a lot of our internal devs, who are actually some who are pretty good at the game, are really stressed out about. We can request an improvement or change.
Okay, so they said they acknowledged it. Their devs are good at the game. Whatever that means, who knows what considers good. But they've at least acknowledged that they think their devs are good at the game. That clears up a lot. So people are wondering if the devs even play the game. A love and optimization out there.
And I can say it's a work in progress.
That's good. Every time I talk to a new player about their experience as well, they also say that the game feels super clunky, doesn't it? Which I get it, it's not the smoothest. Transfer drones, oh no. Oh, white materials, okay. So Rio missed Medallion in Temple, and she used the transfer drone to give her a medallion to her inventory when she went to a hotel with credits. That's pretty crazy, because like, I think you're gonna see a lot of creative builds that way, with builds that like only need to dip into one zone for item. Like that shortened, you know, I think the most famous one's that 11 build where you start forest and you just grab a feather and leave. Like that becomes a 4-zone build, and you just have the feather delivered to you. Same with Razi, right? Like a lot of her zones, or a lot of her builds end in Temple, and all you need is a feather. Now she has a 4-zone build. Crazy. Yeah, I feel like the intention was if you miss an item, but I think you're going to see it used to eliminate zones. You can also use it to build transition items, or prep transition items since you don't get a rare resource. I'm not for or against this change. I want to see how much it gets exploited first before I make an opinion. This I am not a fan of, and I imagine a lot of people are not a fan of. I feel like there's a general consensus that there's too many rare resources in the game, not we need more. And this looks like it's just gonna add more. You get Night 1 Meteorite into Transfer Console Day 2, because there's a 2 up here, so I'm assuming this is Day 2. Day 2 Morning Tree of Life, and you're at 4 and then you end up with like the characters that you see with like Day 2 Halo that just take over. You know, like what if you kill the person that you're fighting for? You get theirs, and then you have enough credits to call your own in. Call 2 Bloods in, right? What are we doing? Day 2, you have Red Shoes and Opera Mask. You're just life-stealing everyone's damage. Yo, you might be able to make a play out of that, right? So you call down a med kit in one zone, then you TP out of it, and you get an uncontested objective in the other zone, because everyone thinks you called in like blood or something. Also depends how long it takes. I'm glad they're not in every zone, too. I feel like we might see a shift to, like, if you get a rare resource, like you use it for your weapon specifically, because there's gonna be so many rare resources running around the game now, and like people with different components, that you're probably just gonna double up on slots with rare resources. So you might as well just build your weapon then, and then kill someone and pick up their rare resources. Jesus, yo, 6,450 health. Jesus, you can see all the new animals. He's like a mini boss. You're just chilling. Okay, so transfer drones are at the start of the game. So this looks like Day 1, and then Day 1 night. You hit your Tree of Life and your Meteorite, and then mutated animals spawn. So it's basically just giving someone something else to do during this time, right? Like if you're not a tree contester, you're not a meteorite contester, you can contest mutated animals. And that's usually your first hunt rotation too. I think we'll see a lot shorter games because of transfer consoles. I don't know if we'll make it to like Day 4 and Wick a lot if everyone has like rare resources and is just killing each other for credits in Day 2 and 3. At first, yo, new skins, yo. New Nikki, look at the Crocs. The little cat Crocs. Oh, I love that. And the thigh garter. Her ass hanging out too. Holy shit. PG-18 game. Got the femboy shorts on. Got the one belt loop off on the belt. Love to see it. We talked about this Rio skin. Good God, I think this is my favorite of the. I don't know. I kind of like the suit one a lot too. I really like all of them. I like all 4 of them. I think equally. But I think what sets it apart is I really like the bow for Rio. Which I know all of this on my screen, and I'm looking at the bow. Look at the holder too. Got a little charm on
in
it.
process in a bit. So
Super cute.
We'll talk about that in a few. Okay. And
The
our
Sua
number
one
on
looks
our
so
character
good
skin
too, though.
and our character vote, which was Sua, and will be our
Yo,
next
if you're a woman
skin for
enjoyer,
our season
you're
6 ER
eating
pass.
good this summer.
You know, it looks amazing. So make sure to buy the ER pass. Coming on
Really like
season
this
6
hairstyle
with an
too.
MP. I'm gonna be watching.
The long into the braid.
To see if you
Oh, look at the watermelon 11 emo. Oh,
great
that's so
stuff.
cute.
And we have a
And the
special
pirate
good news.
Lennox.
We have fixed the bug for the
I really like
bug
these two
for the shopping
skins.
collection.
They're two emos.
And we would want more rewards, and yes, that is coming. Playing after
Let's
reaching maximum will
go!
grant you EP tokens.
For all of us
You
that
will
play
want to
like
use
Eternal
the
Return
like
every
golden
day and
emotes
finish our
pass.
battle pass in 3 weeks, we actually have content now. Got the summer skins. I love this summer skin so much. I can't stress that enough. These 4 skins are so nice. And I've been, not gonna lie, I've been on the Rio grind lately. Might pick up the Rio skin. Yo, pick up a new code. 1200 MP, that's a lot. Use it for the battle pass if you want.
With the new changes, players will no longer be able to see the opposing restricted areas being turned on and off if they do not have vision of the area. You want to see what
I don't think
happens,
that's gonna
it's
make a
risk to
difference.
take. Do you think they're fighting? You have to go there yourself. You have to check out yourself. If you make the big risk and went there and you don't see them fighting, damn, you wasted the timer. So there's more stuff to think about in final restricted areas.
Because they still have to fight regardless. It's not like their timer's not ticking down. Okay, straight up.
In this later stages of
This change in theory sounds good, right? Like, other zone doesn't flick off, you don't know they're fighting, you don't have to run over, right? But you still wait till your timer is higher than the game timer, and then you run over anyways, and then you just stand in timer. I don't think the waste of timer is that big of a deal, because it's either everyone wastes timer, like those two included, or you just wait in your zone, right? Like, and you could do that anyways. So I don't think this changes anything. I think everyone's still gonna run over, and you're still gonna see C come out 99% of the time as a double kill.
ways to get
Yes, thank God. More feathers, more flowers. Love to see this. Flowers make sense to me as well as a, like, ground item.
But we do have a new removal change for the next one.
Okay, before they get into the new removal change, like, my biggest complications with, like, system stuff is, yes, combat pings for third party. That's something that they're gonna deal with, and food gaps they're dealing with. But personally, for me, it's people hate augments, and they still have augments, and they said they're removing unfun stuff, and item actives. Not only does, like, item actives feel weird to me in this type of game, but, like, they're on the F1 keys by default. Like, I get you're supposed to delete them very low key, and then you could move your whatever onto the hotkey, and you can move them around. They don't have to be on the F1 keys, obviously. But it just feels like, personally, for the way, like, I set up my key binding is a little bit different than most people. But I found that talking to a lot of people, they didn't have a place to put their item active button. Like, it's just on such a weird key for most people.
And I honestly think a lot of people are going to be happy about this. Let's go. It is the removal of ESD and EBAD. We're getting rid of
Rest in peace, Heart. Good night.
Being removed from the game. Okay, and now we have the item rarity rework, with more special materials being available to players due to the
I like this.
console edition.
No more
No
factory meta. If you guys don't know what factory meta is, it's not a matter of, like, going to factory. It's like crafting 50 billion of the same items, notably like gold items, because you get crafting XP for them. Craft a random EOD boots, craft a random radar, craft a random, like, whatever, and you would just, like, get a fuck ton of EXP from it. So I really like this change. Hopefully it'll eliminate, like, some of the factory meta. You can still do it with purple weapons, obviously, with stuff on the ground. Not so much I'm okay with. It's just, like, building legendary items and, like, just dropping them on the ground because they're, like, not deemed legendary items. That felt bad.
You can either create a false ping yourself to lure enemies to you, or you can make your enemies step on cling cladders so you can know where they are. Gimmicks are
I kind of like that, actually. Especially for clang cladders, because people just throw them on the ground. What's the other trap? Spiked plank. They did that with clang cladder and spiked planks. I think then people would stop just tossing them on the ground everywhere.
Can it make a funny noise too? Our director is listening, so I'll relay that. Can cling cladders have a fun noise when it's triggered?
I second that, actually. I think that'd be funny.
Maybe later. Well, if the matchmaking becomes too long.
Yeah, no more waiting until 10 p.m. to try and get 18 people. No more 17 out of 18 meme. Oh god, we're gonna have 14 out of 15 meme. Oh, this is new stuff. Okay, cool.
It will also have signs that you will never see because it's a top-down view game. We also have
Oh,
Cemetery.
do we have to look through the bars? I don't like that. Hopefully it's open at the top. I appreciate the graphic updates. I hope this guy's like a fucking meathead for team modes that just like soaks damage.
Comes out, gonna have ranked 24/7, so prepare for that one.
He looks like the new Magnus. Carla hype? Oh, I'm so excited for Carla.
She's gonna use that to catch some big fish.
So I've seen a lot of discourse about Estelle, the firefighter, that people are like, oh, she has a shield, or she's got an axe, she's just gonna be like this another support character that can't do much on her own. I would really like to see like her be like a support character in the sense of like Brigitte from Overwatch, like where like if you're teammates with her and you stand near her, she like heals as she does damage, but like just like gets up in your face and self heals consistently doing auto attacks or whatever, and like bashes you over and over. Axe skill heals herself, just like an up in your face character for solos. I think that's a good way of balancing like a support that can do well in solos.
And last but not least, we have
and we finally have another nunchuck character.
Looks pretty
Oh, Tia skin's really cute, though she has a hat on, and characters with hats tend to look like shit.
We got Lumia Land Felix.
So does Felix. Oh no.
Who works at an amusement park. Maybe
Oh, look at the little bear bag. That's good. This feels like a Leon skin just put on Felix.
Priya. We also got the summer themed Magnus.
Oh my god. They didn't put him in a speedo. I'm for it.
So, and he's also got
no one can stop that body speed.
So let's go. So he will be the first character.
That reminds me of the Rousey skin, but like the problem with the Rousey skin is that she's bright red and stands out in the middle of all the characters. I swear I get targeted more wearing the skin than I do not wearing the skin. I hope she has green flames. That would be so fire.
This one's kind of a lot. First, it's not because Enon likes a specific character. We love all of our characters equally, mostly because
that's gotta be cap.
Each character takes up to
you make skins for the characters that are gonna sell.
We can deliver 100%.
Yo, can you toggle Aya's glasses?
So that means there's also a lot of other skins that are
prepared. They just not get drawn on everything with the full body.
The selection pool you see
this will come in handy because the herbs community is so small, so everyone knows each other's mains.
And instead, you go through a draft and get to choose from 3 options.
You draft your loadout? I love that. Oh, I think that's so cool.
Basically, you can choose from one of these 2 options.
Because you can like off meta it if you think like they're taking too many amp items, or let's say, or too many crit items. I love that a lot. That's so cool to me. I like that it's casual too, so you can just like shit talk your teammate if he's getting gapped by the other 2v2.
This one is a special look at our infusion shop.
Aren't they diagonal? Yeah, they're diagonal. Oh, you might be able to pull off like a flank if you die and then come back to life.
No, I'm sorry. They will gain points, but they will gain less points than they have gained when they won.
Oh, so you do. You still get less. You just get less. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a thing where if they're like you didn't get transitions or you got your early game like screwed over, you go for that kind of win. Because it seems like it nullifies you getting losing points. Like if you're in a losing points position, you get out. You gain points.
Lore. Now scenario. I know that a lot of people want lore in Eternal Return.
Hey, check out my lore video. Shameless plug. It's in the card above.
Show you off first. This one is the briefing room, which will be shown at the start of the game, which will be more. It will give you more of the feel.
Is this like character select?
Our cool Lumia Island. But,
oh, I like this.
Really
this looks cool.
So it's keeping pushed. We'll see
like where you choose your spawn and stuff too?
Maybe I'll see the light of day, maybe not, but we'll see how it goes.
I like that a lot. That looks like a battle royale.
That one's though.
Yeah, you can't go in there. Maybe that's where the escape could be. Escape through the retrace center. Yo, victory animations, I love that. The combination of like Hunger Games where they added like the beginning, and then now it's like Smash when you like win, you have your animation. I love those 2 things. Those are so cool to me. Overall, there's so much stuff I'm excited about for Season 6 of Eternal Return. This is crazy. We got so much information. I'm excited for it all to be implemented. I want it all now. Like, that's it. I want it all now. Put it in preseason and just slam it in there. I don't care. I want it. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to this point. This has been the Eternal Return dev stream reaction. Kind of just my thoughts going into Season 6. I'll probably call this video, like, something about my thoughts about Season 6. Like the video, subscribe if you want to see more Eternal Return content, and I'll see you in the next one.